Paradise Guitar Studio by Universal Audio. Let's dive in. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Music Marketing TV, your home for all things audio in the plugin world. Today we're going to do a deep dive first look into Paradise Guitar Studio plugin suite here by the great folks at Universal Audio. Now imagine everything you love about their guitar plugins, their cabinets, their virtual amplifiers, and even their effects all in one easy to use cohesive signal flow environment that literally will give you unlimited fun and creative tones. All right, I've created a session here, speaking of tones. Now the tones we're about to hear by no means are any limitation of what this can do. When I mean it's flexible, it is really flexible. But I've got a variety of stuff, some clean, some overdrive, and some fun stuff, even some bass guitar. So let's take a listen. I've got the plugin activated here, and let us rock and roll. Okay, did I mention limitless? Let's dive in. Now you can see I've got some clean guitars and some lead guitar trading licks, if you will, some bass and some drums. Perhaps the best thing to do would take it from a clean slate and build a preset so we can actually look at each component, since I want to make this a deep dive. Let's solo this track and bring this up and bring Paradise Guitar Studio. Now, when you open up for the first time, you will get the splash screen, and it is really cool. Now, this is a preset I created called Clean Start. Whenever you see my initials up front, that's usually a preset that I made. I tend to do this a lot with my presets. Just give me some kind of base level starting place where I can build upon. All right, so where do we start? I tend to start with, obviously, the amplifier and a speaker combination. Now, we've got 5 pre-amp effects blocks right here, and then that goes into our amp and speaker, and then we've got 5 post cabinet effects blocks here, if you will. But of course we have an input gain, a gate if you want to toggle that on and off, and then our output section with an optional limiter. Thank you, Universal Audio. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do here is talk about what amps are included. Now, one cool thing about this is that each amplifier has its own signature color theme. Very intuitive. So you can open up the plugin and you can say, oh, if I'm on purple, I must be ruby. Beautiful emerald green, I must be on enigmatic. We got the Dream 65 right here. And you can begin actually auditioning these amps in real time as you're choosing them. Let's do that. Love that. It's so intuitive and easy to use because you don't have to stop to make decisions. You can be creative in real time with this plugin. I really love that. This, by the way, sounded really great, the Enigmatic 82. Try the silver. Has a little bit of a high-end lift there. Okay, and then when you close it out, you'll see that that amplifier is now in the amp block. But you could change it again from any time that you want. Let's talk about the speaker cabinets. Now you could search or you can browse by single cabinet, speaker in a cabinet, a twin or 412. And yes, you can audition these in real time. Let's start at the top. And it goes on and on from there. Again, we've got 1 speaker, we've got 2 speakers and 4 speakers. And each one, of course, as you select one, has some necessary information pertaining to what they are. Now, I actually tend to, I think oh boy, I think it was this one. Let me see. I like that. Let me try the green ace. Vintage blue. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that, almost like a Stratty spank to it. I like that. And again, you can literally, as your mix grows, you can switch between these combinations in real time. I like that. So now that we've got an amp and a cab, why don't we go to some pre-insert effects here? Let's select this area, and we've got 5 blocks. Now, what do you want to do? You want to add something to block 1? There you go. Let's talk about this. For distortions, we're getting a big fuzz. Again, read the blurb. Now, as you actually select these, you're not just selecting them, you're making them active here in this window. So we could turn it on and off and audition it here, again in real time. Big fuzz. So that's really handy. I like that. We've got a gold overdrive, Nashville overdrive, raw distortion, TS overdrive, and a vintage fuzz. For modulation, we're going to get a blue flanger, brigade chorus, micro pitch shifter, always fun, multi-chorus, orange phaser, and a Trem 65. Let's put that chorus on there. Got a beautiful analog vibe to it, doesn't it? And you'll notice that once it's selected, yes, you can tweak the parameters, but if you close it, it's now in effects block 1 in the pre-cab effects blocks. And to move it around, you can actually put it anywhere you want in the signal flow, as easy as that. So you could start with a chorus if you wanted like that. What I tend to do, and if you want to remove an effect, just choose none and they're gone. What I tend to do is start usually with a little bit of a corrective EQ or a boost. We could actually come to our EQ utilities, and we've got a 10-band graphic EQ, studio EQ, and a master volume. For reverbs, you got digital reverb, plate 140, reverb 224, one of my favorites, and the spring reverb. That'll sound great on guitar. And for delays, analog memory man, digital delay, tape echo, and pitch shift. Let's go to dynamics. I'm going to select an 1176 compressor and put that in on my first insert slot. So my signal chain is going to first hit the input and then the gate, which I have toggled on here. And you can adjust the gate parameters with the menu buttons right there. You have threshold, attack, release, attenuation, and hold. So if you want a gate, these are where your parameters are. And from here, you can attenuate just a little bit with that master slider, okay? So I'll leave that on. Let's quickly do some of my settings here, and let's take a listen to the 1176. Here's without. I'll bypass it. Just put it in. Really does thicken it up a little bit. I'm going to raise the gate a little bit. Bring it up a little more. I'm going to reduce my input. I don't want to drive it too much. Now let's add, how about an EQ? I'll give you a little tip. You could actually add all of these. For example, I want to add this one now. And there you go. Now, why am I doing this? Because you can actually set parameters for each. Let's do this really quickly. I've done this so many times. I'm going to do a lift right there. And for this one, let's do a lift at the honey zone, I call it. Let's dip this around and do a slight mid bump for some juice at about 400. There we go. Now you can compare. You could say, how does this one sound? Turn it on, turn it off. How does this one sound in real time? Let's try that. Here's the GEQ10. Here's without. Let's bring in the studio EQ. There we go. And if you're happy with that one, you could leave the temp band there if you wanted, or you can come to this section, again, like I showed you before, choose none, and there you go. You freed up a slot for you. So now we did a little compressing going in, a little creative EQing there, and you've got 3 more blocks to choose from. And that's actually going to go into the Enigmatic 82 and into our Green Ace 212 with the ribbon mic, it looks like. Now let's talk about some post effects here, the post effect blocks from the cab. We've got 5 again to choose from. So let's have a little bit of fun here. We could add a distortion pedal. Why don't we do that in the very front, actually? Let's go back to our first ones, add a gold drive, leave it there, turn it off whether we want it or not. That way I can maybe A/B that later. Again, it's all about workflow. Go back to our post effects here, and let's do, how about a delay? One of my favorite ones. Let's do that trick I just showed you. I'm going to bring in 2 delays here. Let's do the tape echo. All right, I'm going to bring in 2 delays here and choose between which one I like here in real time. Let's move these around and let's have a little fun. Let's start with the tape echo number 1. I'm going to bypass this one. Nice. Gives a little density up the middle if you want. I'm going to lower that a little bit and lower my feedback. There we go. Here's without. Here's with. Now you'll notice the age here is set to worn. You can go old, worn, or mint. I'm going to set it to mint. All right, let's bypass that and bring in our stereo delay. Little ping pong effect going on there, huh? I'm going to lower the feedback. Let me link these. I like that. Now let's add a spank of reverb. Let's do our spring and bring that in too. Oh, that sounds so much like a tank. It's great. Let's bypass digital and bring in the tape echo again. And to A/B your progress, come up to the universal audio symbol and I could bypass the entire plugin. This is a straight, direct guitar recording. Let's bring it in now. Remember that gold overdrive we inserted? Why don't we activate that and have a little fun? And just like that, we're building a custom preset. Now, speaking of presets, let's check out the preset browser right now. Let me open that up. And being a universal audio plugin, have no fear. There are so many amazing presets to choose from. You have no shame in choosing any one of these and just hitting the road running or just tweaking it to your heart's content. I've got my favorites here. These are some of my favorites that I've created. But let's start here. This is, let's go to ambient, and it's going to truncate all of the potential presets to what is relative to ambience. Let's go Cold Cave DI. Let's see what this sounds like. Next. So glassy, right? Try the next one. Let's do the next one. So as I mentioned earlier in this video that there's almost no limitation to the variety of sounds you can get. And a little goes a long way. I mean, you can subtly change any one of these parameters and it'll put you in the direction to something creative like that you may have never thought before. That's why I always recommend starting with presets, because it does expose you not only to different sounds, but different signal flow combinations within the plugin to help teach you basically what these effects are doing. And the arrangement of the effects. For example, if I wanted to know more about fuzzy double range flange, I could open up the post effects blocks and say, yeah, it's using a blue flanger into the plate 140 reverb. I like that plate 140 reverb. Let me use that next time in this song. Let's go to the pre, and you'll see that blue flanger is there as well. It's on both pre and post. Maybe something you never thought of trying before. Well, guess what? It does work. It's audio production, and the sky is the limit. Now we're going to find out what that was. That clearly is the pitch shift delay plugin. Super musical. Definitely check that out. I'm going to raise the gate a little. Again, the Enigmatic 82, one of my favorites, happened to be silver. And that same speaker combination, it looks very similar to the one we were using earlier. If not, it sounds pretty darn close. So this is pretty much most of what you can get out of this, but I do have to mention, being a guitar plugin, we have a built-in tuner. Now in this section, you can see that you can mute. You could also get a mini tuner if you wanted, and you can change the value of the hertz. So if you're tuning to 440 or a different value. So the built-in guitar tuner, it's there for you. That probably would be the best place to start. You should always tune up first. And having one on hand that's easy like this means you don't have to reach for your tuner or stomp on a pedal or anything. Having it built in is, again, a workflow advancement, I feel. Under settings, you could choose your input mode, mono or stereo. Plus you could take your tempo from the DAW, which I have at 110 BPM here. Yep, 110. Or you could do manual, which means you can put in your own tempos if you want to here under the settings. So the best way, I think, is to definitely check this out for yourself. There's no other better way to experience this than in your own creative work. Paradise Guitar Studio, again, it's virtually unlimited. We have been doing so much with just and having fun. Let's be honest, it's a guilty pleasure because that's the way it should be. When you're having fun and being creative, plugins like this should inspire you to want to work and bring out more of what you love to do. And that is the Universal Audio way. All right, so for more information, visit the links below. Download a copy today. This was a first look deep dive into Paradise Guitar Studio by the great folks at Universal Audio. Have fun, stay creative, everyone, and thank you for watching.